losers. Inspire.
Welcome back to another Wisdom Wednesday discussion. I am your guide, Science Inspire, generating, uplifting, inspiring, developing, and empowering you to live inspired every day forever, because that's life. Today, this month, because it is the 1st of August in the spookiest month of them all. So we're talking about letting go so we can grow. The theme for this month is letting go to grow. And so this discussion is going to be titled Sacred Naming. What no longer serves you? Let it go. So our focus is naming and releasing those things that we no longer need. Kind of pass that on. You outgrew those old clothes. Let's donate them. Let's give them away. We don't need them. So as always, let us start by affirming. But first, this is your first time being here. Remember that here we go by the inspired principle, which means to never stop prospering. It requires effort daily. And so everything we do is based on that, and it leads to life. So, to affirm my truth speaks through the weight I no longer carry. My truth speaks through the weight I no longer carry. So all the weight that I used to have on me, and I no longer carry that, that's what speaks for me. Because there was a time where our shoulders was low and we used to walk like this, and when you saw us, you'd be like, looks like you're going through a lot. Now, you no longer carry all that weight. We stand upright, chin up, chest out, and our truth speaks through that. The intention for this discussion is to name that silent, energetic, emotional, spiritual, those burdens that we was carrying for no reason, that distorted our inner clarity and blocked our personal growth. We're letting that go. It's time to emerge from that dark cave we were living in, or out from under the rock. It's time. And the outcome, what we intend, no hope, what we intend and what you will get from this discussion is to be able to discuss and gain the clarity to reclaim your energy and be able to identify at least one core pattern for release so that you can begin to feel empowered to begin your journey of letting go so that you can grow. This isn't about yesterday, nor is it about tomorrow. It is about today, because today, in the present moment, whenever you are listening to or watching this, that's when we have to make that decision. Yesterday, it's already happened, so we can only look back and see what happened. What happened yesterday? What happened in our past? The future isn't here yet, so we can only think about what the possibilities are. But see, we can't get there until we decide today, right now, what are we going to let go of? What is no longer serving us? And so in this moment is when we sit, we discuss, we identify, and then, as always, we end with that leap forward. Because we're not just about talking about it, or we going to be about it. We're going to live. Remember, listen, invite, verify, express, so that we can create that new experience, so that we can begin to live this life that is not just possible, but it's probable. So let's get into it. Let's open with the problem. What's your problem, man? I keep holding on, and I shouldn't. I need to let it go. We keep holding on. The problem of holding on. If you were hanging, right? Let's say say you're on a pull-up bar. You're just hanging there. After a while, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be hard to hold on. Your hands gonna start hurting. Muscles start tightening up. And then your grip loosens and you gotta let go. And if we are that stubborn that we're just gonna keep holding on, then it's gonna give out. Our body's gonna give out. It's gonna give way. And that's been our problem. Instead of noticing, you know what? Time to let go. We're just gonna keep holding until it's no choice. Until there is no choice. And that's the thing. We always have a choice. You choose to hold on too long when we should let go. So we want to be able to identify when that moment is. How do I know when to let go? Because I've been there. Dang, well, how do I know when it's time to let go versus when it's time to just keep going? Well, maybe I can try another way, and this it. One key to that is when you begin to ask that question, hello, who is it? Time to let go. Because, again, back to that pull-up bar example. When you first got up there, you can hold on. It's not a problem. Then after a while, you start thinking about how difficult it is, how you start feeling the pain. Then it starts to get even more difficult. And then you start wondering, can I hold on? Now you're trying to do it. Now you're fighting yourself. This is the same thing in any and every aspect in our life, whether it be some opportunity, whether it be a job, a relationship. You start to think about, what am I doing? As you have been holding on too long, you start to think about, like, well, what am I doing? How is this benefiting me anymore? I keep doing this, but then I keep getting those results. No matter how much love I give, they seem to not appreciate it. No matter how much I do, it seems to not matter. You start asking why. You start questioning, what am I doing? Yet the biggest thing that we all have been doing, especially in those moments, is we carry that weight, that baggage in silence. We act like we're good. How you? I'm good. I'm good. We're carrying this in silence. We conceal carrying attachments, fears, beliefs. And this is why we're easily triggered, ready to pop off. We're carrying this in silence. No more. Does this mean that now you got to jump on social media and tell everybody? Now you got to jump on the phone and start calling people? No. But it does mean that we're no longer silent about it. We're going to speak up. We're going to say something. We're not just going to let it live in our head. We're going to say it out loud so that we can hear it. Address. This is that expression. We have to express it in order to see and create a new experience for ourselves. Because the false truth is that holding on feels safe, like a hug. You feel like it's a hug. You like, it feels safe to just hold on. I'm so used to this. I've been doing this so long. I've been at this job for however many years. I've been in this relationship for however many years. I've known this person for however long, and it just feels comfortable. It feels safe to hold on. The reality is that safety has created a distortion and an imbalance in our lives. That complacency is what's going to kill. Because now we're just willing to accept any and everything. Safety and security doesn't feel like a burden. If you're safe, why should it feel like there's a weight on your back? Why would you question that? When you're secure, the things that come with that is peace, joy. When do we think about safety and fear? If I'm safe, shouldn't I be relaxed and peaceful? So if I'm holding on because it feels safe, then maybe my emotions are betraying me in that moment. And so the anchor that we have to back this up, you only lose what you cling to. You only lose what you cling to. This comes from Buddha. Think about that for a second. We're clinging to something. Remember, we just said the holding on feels safe. Yet when does that holding turn into a clinging? Now you don't want to let go. Now it's like, what? Hold on. When you think about clinging on to something and not letting go, think of that child that clings on to the blankie or the stuffed animal or that piece of security. It doesn't want to let go because it is fearful. When we cling, that is an act of fear. Yet when we name it, it reveals the fear. That allows us the choice to release it. See, if we don't want to name it, we're just going to keep clinging, meaning we're not going to choose to release. Therefore, that choice is going to be made for us. And any time the choice is made for you, that is uncomfortable. Look at where we are in this world. When we have governments telling us what to do, that ain't comfortable. We rebel against that. You don't like it. So why in our lives will we allow a choice to be made for us? By force, you're ripped away, torn apart, broken, because you didn't let go. You cling to something out of fear. And remember, fear is not our natural state of being. Joy is. And for the majority of us, we haven't felt that as a natural state. So we don't know what that feels like. We have felt this fear as a natural state. We wake up and they push fear. We walk around and we see fear. We express fear. It has become the norm. So joy is so far away, it's unbelievable. When I tell people to live inspired every day, forever, they like, that sounds good. But they don't believe it. Yet at the same time, it's not my job to convince you. Yet at the same time, it is my job to be an example for you to see. So you ask me, well, what are you doing? This is what I'm doing. And it came through when I was clinging. I didn't want to let go. But just like on the movie 300, you saw when he kicked him and then fell in that well, that's what it felt like. I didn't want to let go. So he got kicked. and I had no choice. Now you free falling. I had to name that fear and then choose to release it. Is it easy? No. But who cares? What is easy? Matter of fact, why are we looking for anything to be easy? Where is the fulfillment in things that are easy? Maybe you have not given yourself enough credit for how you make difficult things look easy in your life. You made it this far through all the difficulties. Yes, this happened to you. It did. When? Not right now. It's not happening to you right now. So you need to remind yourself. We should remind ourselves. We've been through a lot. That means you're on the other side. That means you're telling the story. Yet in telling the story, we cling to it instead of naming it so we can release it. Oh, that did happen to me, but it's not happening to me. So that now is a story that I can have of resilience, perseverance, because I went through that as a child. I went through that in my teenage years. I went through that as a young adult. I went through that whenever you went through it. Sometimes when we go through things, we hold on to them and it's like we're reliving it every single day. And we spoke about this before, being stuck in that loop, like the movie where you wake up every day and you're reliving the same moment again. And you notice how in those movies, they relive the same moment until they find out the lesson and then the moments is broken. This is breaking the loop, releasing what no longer serves us. Because if it no longer serves us, then we don't need it. And so the longer we try to hold on to it, it's now counterproductive. Something that started off as a benefit is now a detriment to us because we won't let it go. I can't keep doing the things that I was doing when I was a kid. But they say sometimes you got to put away your childish things. It don't mean necessarily to be serious all the time. That's not what it means. It means let go of those things that no longer serve you. If you want to get to that other side. We say we want to experience something better, yet we're not willing to release, to let go out of fear. What will happen if I do that? You get to your destination. You get where you're going. What happens if you don't do that? How come we never ask ourselves that? We're so fearful of, well, what happens if I let this person go? What happens if I leave this job? What happens if I move? What happens if I step out on faith? I'm so afraid. What happens if you don't? Because what happens when you don't step out should be more fearful than what happens when you do. Yet we have become complacent, safe. You're not safe. You're living in a lion's den and you're just okay, right? Until somebody get hungry. And then guess who they're going to eat? Our second anchor that we have to back this up comes from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. And it says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which is doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. You can't bloom if you refuse to shed. You can't grow until you let it go. Before the new can emerge, the old has got to go. You got to release it. And because we're not releasing it, the new can't come in. So you want the new life, you want these new experiences, these opportunities, but you won't let the old go. The old you. You still want to be the person you was in college, and you still want to hang out with the same friends, and you don't fit in anymore. It doesn't feel right. But you're still doing it, going through the motions, pretending. This is what we no longer want to do. That ripping the Band-Aid off. Because it's time to. So when we hear compassed, and remember, we like to go with the old version of the text so that we can truly get the full understanding. Because I'm not here to convince you. I'm not even here to preach to you. I'm not the middleman. I am just the messenger, and you're going to get the download. And I simply want to help you understand, because what they say, you know better, you do better. Faith, belief, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We don't want to be stuck. We want to go through the whole thing. A lot of us are just stuck in one area. Oh, I know. Well, if you know, you should be growing. You can't be like, I know, and then just be stuck there. You don't. So compassed, I'm going to look this up. Compass is defined as go around something in a circular course, right? It's also surround, encircle, or enclose. You may have heard encompass before, right? So compassed about, surrounded by remembrance. You are surrounded by remembrance. Everywhere you look, you tap back into your familiar ancestry. And you can see you're not shedding alone. You can look around you. And when we're paying attention, we notice we're not shedding alone. I just came from New York, and I was around other individuals who were shedding. These people I didn't necessarily know before this. Yet we met up, and we seem to have been wanting, seeking, same thing. And it reminded me, like, I'm not alone in this. Unless I choose to be. I choose to close myself in and act like it's only me and the world is just When I realized, it's like, wait a minute. I'm not by myself. I am compassed about. I am surrounded by remembrance. I am not shedding alone. So therefore, it made it, I want to use the word easier. It made it more possible for me to let go without fighting it. It made me understand. It made me know better so that I can do better. So when you think that you are going through it alone, remember, you're compassed about. We also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight, every weight, every weight, which is symbolic to that emotional residue that you keep holding on to. Those inherited patterns that, oh, my parents, and we keep blaming. But we got it now. So if I inherit it, I gotta do something with this. If you inherited $1 million from your grandparents or your parents, you wouldn't be mad at that. You would have to find out what to do with that money, would you not? So when you inherit this emotional residue, you got to find something to do with that. Because each generation, we're going to pass something down. And instead of looking at it as a burden, it is what you are. It's the problem that you solve. Each generation solves the previous generation's problems. This is why we are compassed about, where we surrounded each other. We're all witnesses. We're all going through it. And this generation, we're going through something specific for us. Yeah, we got to remember that every weight, emotional, physical, intellectual, spiritual, the inherited patterns, that false identities that we walk, the mask that we wear, that is the weight. And we're told to lay it aside, to let it go. Why? Because these things are what distort your rhythm. You're flowing like this. It's what's distorting your rhythm. Matter of fact, what just came to our mind, if you ever seen sound waves. And then there's a loud sound that's going to, something's going to spike, right? That distortion. If you're listening to something, distortion doesn't even sound good. It does not feel good. So this weight that we have been carrying is distorting our rhythm. And it makes you look unnatural when you're walking. It makes your life have these unnatural flows to it, for lack of a better word. That speaks to, when we're talking about the false identities, the inherited patterns, this is talking about that pretending. When somebody's like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing all right. And you're not. We do a lot of pretending. I say we because I ain't absent in this. I'm right here with you. We do a lot of pretending. We pretend that we okay. We pretend that everything's fine. We pretend that nothing's wrong. We pretend that we like what we don't like. We pretend to laugh. We pretend to be happy. So we don't have to. That is false. And that balance, like that's the false balance that we spoke about in week 4 in our September discussion. Which is, if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. Go listen to that. We talk about the false balance and how what that does to us. We want to be a just balance, the just truth, not a false balance. We don't want to pretend because we don't need to pretend. Because what does pretending actually do to you? After a while, do you even know you're pretending anymore? Some of the greatest actors have told you, man, I got so stuck in that role, I had to go therapy after to get out because I really thought I was that person. I pretended so well, I convinced myself that was me. What part of your life have you pretended so well, you thought that was you and it wasn't? You thought you were incapable and you're actually fully capable. You thought you couldn't and you actually could. You thought you're not and you are. But you pretended so long, you've adopted those false identities, you worn that mask for so long, you forgot. Now we're called to remember and to release the sin with does so easily beset us. easily beset, familiar, beset, familiar, seductive, habitual habits. Those things that it's just like, it's so familiar, man. I've been doing this. It's so enticing, and it's a habit now. It's easy. See? We're looking for things to be so easy. Yet the things that are easy are that which is familiar. Those habitual things that have really served you no good. That we don't let them go, and then all of a sudden, it turns into a disease, a sickness, something that we ain't got no choice now. And as I look about my own life, and as I learn and understand and really listen, I'm seeing that disease is unnatural, number one. Yet we see so much of it because we're not letting go. And it's going to. You're here to grow. So if you stay stagnant, then this disease is going to come along so that you have no choice. You're going to grow either way. Or you're going to go. And then you're going to come back and grow. Or you're going to go. And the cycle continues. Are we choosing to grow? Or are we going to be forced to go somewhere we don't want to? Easily beset. The patterns we wear that we mistakenly equate with safety. Just feels good. I've been doing it for so long, it just, you know what, it is what it is. My parents did this, my grandparents did this, that doesn't make it okay. That's a huge issue that we have. We see so much that is familiar that we start doing it too. And then we justify by saying, well, everybody else is doing it. That's how you know right there you shouldn't be doing it. Because the things that are for us are unfamiliar. That dream you have is unfamiliar. You don't see it nowhere. Yet because of that, you're afraid to pursue it. You're afraid to live it because you don't see it nowhere. And what will people think if, I want to just be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing because that's comfortable and then I can fit in, and then you're not here to do that. And your life is made uncomfortable because you're trying to fit into something you're supposed to stand outside of. You're trying to be like when you're made unique. You want to be a prototype instead of setting a protocol. Stand on principle. Realize you don't have to ask them for permission. This is your life. Either you live your life or we're going to be uncomfortable trying to live somebody else's. You're wearing somebody else's clothes. Let's transition to the key message, right? What are we wanting? What's the whole point of this? Why are we even talking about this? Why do I care about letting go? Why do I want to grow anyway? The whole point of this is so that we begin liberation. We talk about sovereignty a lot because it is my belief and understanding that we're put here to be sovereign. And yet we've just broken that. And we've given up our sovereignty to be included in something that the moment we give up our sovereignty and feel like we included, we start being excluded. Yet when you're sovereign, it's like you're by yourself and you're out there all alone. That's what it feels like. But you remember, you are compassed about. You ain't never alone. I felt like, you know what, I'm going through this all alone. Then when I went to New York, when I'm around these other individuals, what's coming to me is I have to learn how to, or I am learning how to let others assist me. They're saying you can go fast by yourself, but if we want to go far, go together. I've been going fast. When you go fast, you know what you're prone to do sometimes? Crash. Well, I've went fast. Now it's time to go far. Yeah, before I could do that, I had to begin to release. And doing that, you are going to be by yourself. Yet as you are doing that and you start coming out, you have to now be aware of what's happening. Okay, I'm now not in the same space I was before. I'm not the same person I was before. So now I have to begin to learn how to do this new. And there is a power in this sacred naming. There is a power in this liberation. There is a power in the letting go. And that first step is admittance. Just like we had Alcoholics Anonymous, and I said, hey, I'm toxic, I am an alcoholic. I gotta admit that. Because all them years, I ain't want to admit. I said, no, I could quit anytime. I'm good. I'm good. I can stop. Another shot, please. Now I'm like, you know what? I ain't got no choice. I gotta stop. The first step is admittance. To release, we gotta name that weight. And I had to admit, like, oh man, I'm not really used to this. Because I came from what I thought was me allowing people to help me. So when you experience distrust or manipulation, now you closed off and there's a distrust in everything. You looking around, you don't know who to trust. All these people look like they're out to get you. And that may be true. But it's not about them. It's about you. It was about me. Yes, I went through that. But was it really those people that were doing something to me? I mean, yeah, this person might have said or did something physically or whatever. Yet, what role did I play in that? I had to be in that position. I had to not be letting go. I had to be comfortable around those people in those situations. I had to admit that. Damn, I was. Because I was over giving. I was empathetic of dang, man, look at this person hurting. And you give them something, they take it, and it's like, damn. And now that makes you feel some type of way. Now I'm like, see, every time I try to help somebody or every time I help somebody, they do this to me. Well, then why do I keep trying to, why I keep trying to help somebody? Because in that moment, I needed that, but I gave you my life. Why did I do that? I got to reel that back in. And when I begun to do that, that's when, it's uncomfortable. Now that's when those people turn their back, they walk away, they do whatever. And that's that moment of hurt. Like, damn, this what we doing? After all I did for you, and now this is how you treat me? You know what? Bump the world. I can't stand y'all. And that's the whole point, is to get us to a point where we give up. And we don't want to go back out there. We don't want to put ourselves out there. And it's our life. So I think that I'm doing somebody else a service, like I'm hurting somebody because I'm not. I'm only hurting myself. This is not about them. Don't matter if they laugh at you, if they support you. It's about you. How do you support you? What is it that you want to do? And I want to live inspired every day forever. So I cannot be looking at people like, oh, I can't trust them. It's not about trusting them. I had to trust me. And the moment I began to trust me, it showed me exactly. I could then see it. I could feel it. I could hear it. And it was like, wait a minute. What is this? How? Like, I remember the first time I had got glasses. I used to do this. Put my glasses on, take them off. I'm wearing contacts right now, but I'll put them on and take them off because it was so foreign to me. I'm like, why is everything so clear? I was so used to things being blurry and out of focus that it was like when I got glasses, it was like, wait, so this is how everything looks? It was a shock. It was something new that I hadn't experienced, that I had been so comfortable with this blurry vision, squinting. Now I'm like, you know what? I had to admit that it's time for me to start allowing that. But that came internally. I had to first allow myself to calibrate, to settle in, to understand me. I had to seek that liberation. I had to start naming things, calling it for what it was. Sons, listen, you too trusting of everybody else. You're giving everything to everybody else and you ain't got nothing for yourself. And now you mad at them for taking it all. You gave it. You put it out there for them to take. And guess what people are gonna do? They're gonna take. So that means it's time to start setting some boundaries. It's time to start putting things in place, putting parameters. Be like, nope, it's time to start saying no. And then watch them be uncomfortable and say, oh, well, now you begin to see clearly, to hear precisely, to understand and know. And I saw where I was fearful, where I was hesitant, where my uncertainty created doubt, and how that affected me in my life and each step that I took. So at that point, it was like, oh, you ain't really doing nothing. What am I allowing to be done? Because I didn't want to say no. I didn't want to let go. I didn't want to grow because that meant that I would have to do something difficult. That meant that I would have to get up. That meant that I would have to start something new, to do it different than what I was doing before. And maybe nobody's shown me that. So how do I know if I'm doing it right? You don't until you do it. There was a time in this world where we weren't this close and this connected. We didn't have social media. We didn't have cars. We didn't have planes that could take you from one side of the world to the other side of the world in a few hours. So you had to be an explorer. You had to walk out there in the jungle and find out what these things were. You had to explore the dark. That's how we got here. Not by being fearful, by being fearless, by admitting, by releasing. When you don't name it, we can still hide, right? We can be small. We're too big to be little. If we're not going to name it, those things then hide. That fear can hide behind you and work behind the scenes in the background, like a virus in your program. It's just working in the background. You ain't even know what's going on. Every time you want to go do something, but here's the fear in the background telling you, nah, it's not going to work. So then you don't go. You stay home. I don't even want to. Here's an opportunity that pops up and it says, I need a job. Boom, opportunity pops up. Fear tells you, so you're like, nah, that's not for me. I wouldn't get it anyway, right? You know, who's gonna is working in the background. It's shaping your choices from the shadows. When you call it out, when you put the light, shine the light on it, now you see and you expose it. It's up. Caught you. What you was doing back there. Now I can get you out of here. Naming it allows you to reclaim your power because you are not powerless. You full of power. You turn the breaker box on. Oh, snap. What just happened in here? The power came on. We didn't even know it. You didn't even know. Yet you walked around like you had no power. You walked around like you had no authority over your own life. Like somebody else was in charge of you and was ruling you. The government tells you what to do, when to do, and how to do. Since when? Is the government not made up of other people? You establish your own governance. What happened to that? This is what we talk about and we champion. Oh, the forefathers and the founders and all of this, because that's what they did. Yet you think that that's the only time it was done back in 1700 or something, 1400. No, it's done every single day. You are the founding father, mother of your own life. Be bold. Be courageous. Step out on faith. Stop talking about it. Stop quoting all these scriptures about stepping out on faith while you live in fear. Scripture is meant to empower you. It's not meant to coddle you and say, oh yeah, it's okay. Because somebody else stepped out on fear, you don't have to. No, it's a reminder of what you are capable of, what you must do. We've gotten to the point where we're so complacent that we're so comfortable that we just allow other people to tell us this stuff. And then we feel good. We get a little motivation. Then we go home right back into the fear. This is why we are talking about being inspired in spirit. That which is going to activate you to get up. Because faith without works, exactly. You ain't working. Yet we keep expressing faith in what? Others, but not ourselves. They can do it, but I can't. And you were told anything I can do, you can do greater. I don't believe that. That's your problem. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in the one person that it needs to get the job done. That's you. But you believe in everybody else. You clapping, oh, son, you so. Don't you dare clap. Because I ain't here for you to clap and applaud and be like, oh, you got it. Nope, that ain't what this is for. You see this on my t-shirt, say live inspired every day forever, because that's like, it's not just some catchy phrase and slogan that you'd be like, oh, that's cool that you do it. You can do this. Because at one time, I wasn't doing it. This came from me being inspired, living in spirit. I had no clue what I was doing. Still don't. Yet each day, each moment, I choose to, you know what? I'm going to find a way to step out on faith. And I fight fear all the time. It does not necessarily go away. It's continuous. And that's the most beautiful thing about it is you are continuous. You have the strength to keep fighting every moment of every day, even when you feel tired and exhausted and I just can't. And then all of a sudden, you just got this boost of energy and you can when you choose to. Name it. Release it so you can make space for what is true, for what is new. Out with the old life, in with renewed life. And the wisdom anchor that's going to back us up here comes from the Tao Te Ching. And it says, in the pursuit, matter of fact, I want to say it the right way. It says, in the pursuit of intelligence, every day something is added. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something gets dropped. So when we pursue intelligence, every day we add something. Oh, I know this, and 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 I know this. And you ever notice that you just adding? And what is addition without subtraction? After a while, you're gonna fill up so much that you ain't gonna have no more room. What happens when you get too full? Is it not uncomfortable? If you eat too much, don't you get on? I don't care what it is. Your favorite food, pizza, hamburger, cookies, cakes, ice cream, spaghetti, whatever. Eat too much of it. It's not uncomfortable. Anybody seen Willy Wonka? Remember that little boy kept eating all the chocolate? Huh? Oh, keep eating it. Keep eating it. After a while, got uncomfortable. And Willy Wonka looking at you like, oh, don't know, don't know what to tell you. Here you go, floating off in the air like. In the pursuit of intelligence, we keep adding. So you want to know more every day. And we are in that phase right now, that stage right now where we got these smartphones, all this technology where information is right at your fingertips. And you keep adding so much of it every day. When do we stop to integrate? When we integrate, we gotta hold on now. So, wait, I don't need this no more, but I need that, and I don't need that no more, but I need this. And so the Tao is reminding us that in the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Every day I'm taking something. Ooh, leave that over there because I need this. I thought I knew that yesterday. Well, now today, something has replaced it. If I'm still holding on to what I believed at 18, this doesn't work. If I'm still holding on to the belief that somebody can block me or somebody somewhere working behind the scenes is causing all this havoc in my life, then of course I feel powerless and I'll just sit around because there's nothing I can do. And now I question, where did that even come from? So I remember where I had that. I'm like, now where did I laugh at that. I laugh at myself now, like, what? Remember when you thought that somebody somewhere, the man, was gonna stop you? Now, there are situations, there are people, places, and things that can get in our way, of course. But I got a choice to make. That thing that is in my way, I can choose to allow it to block me and give up and say, well, there's nothing I do. This thing is in my way. Or I can find a way to move it, go around it, go over it, go through it. The choice is ours. The choice is yours. And secondly, coming from the Bhagavad Gita, it says, you have a right to perform your duty, but not to the fruits of your actions. Let go of attachment to the results. That one right there. Letting go of attachment to the results. So you have a right to perform your duty. I got a right to live inspired every day forever, but not to the fruits of my actions, which means I have no right to worry about the results. Well, if I do this, will people like, share, and subscribe? I don't care. I don't have a right to that. Whether you like, share, subscribe, that's on you. That's your choice. But I have the right to perform this duty. I have the right every week to come hold a Wisdom Wednesday discussion if I want to. I have the right to live inspired every day forever if I want to. I have no right whether you do it, whether you go purchase a shirt, whether you tune in. Yet what do they have us focusing on? The results. not the right to perform the duty. They have us focusing on the fruits of the action and then the results. Do this, and then that's the result. If I do this, I'll get paid this. If enough people like, share, and subscribe, then this will happen. So now I'm focusing on trying to get you to like, share, and subscribe because I need the results. How is that benefiting my life? Well, I'm telling you, I don't have many people like, sharing, and subscribing right now, and my life is great. And yet I have some of the worst losses in my life. And I've begun to see how, those were lessons that I need to overcome. I have a duty to perform. I'm not around my children right now. And what hurts me every single day is knowing that I'm smiling and I'm living, and they see that, or others can see that and try to interpret it some way as if I'm happy without them. No. But this is my duty to show them, number one, improvement from what they saw and experienced, and also to give them that inspiration to say, damn, my dad can do that, to be happy, to keep going, to live inspired. Then why can't I? I just got dumped by my boyfriend. We just lost a game. I just hurt myself. Whatever it is, I can get through that. My duty is not to focus on whether or not they understand. My duty is not to focus on the results of if I get to see them or I want to. So I have a duty to perform. I got to do this. And I don't worry about anything else. What is your duty? That purpose that you have. Focus on that, doing that only. You plant the seed and you walk away. You water it and you walk away. You're not sitting there like, I hope that the results of this is going to be plant the seed, water it, do what you need to do, and allow those things to be. And when that tree comes and it is fruitful, now you say, boom, now I have this. Now what is my duty? I have all these fruits. Now my duty is to give those out. And what I receive back from that, thankful for that. Now I have a duty with that. Now that I received all this, what is my duty then? So you have a right to perform the duty, but not to the fruits of your actions. Let go. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Let go. In the universal connection is everywhere we look, all these traditions are recognizing the sacred power of release. Let go. Freedom comes when we let go of what binds us. I spoke about if we eat too much, right? We're not recognizing where the problem is in our body, where the problem is in our mind, where the problem is in our spirit. It's digestion. We're constipated because we're not letting go. So digestion in your body looks like something because it's not letting go at the rate that it should. Constipation in our mind looks like something, and it causes certain things because we're not digesting. Intellect, we keep adding. We're not digesting, letting go. We don't digest our emotions. We constipated, we stuck with those. Your spirit constipated because you're not digesting, you're not letting go. This is what causes stagnation. It's not because you're incapable and I just can't, but you can. No, you can. Let go, digest. And there's a way that you assist that. And we haven't been assisting our digestion. We have been assisting our constipation. Now we bloated. Oh, and that's uncomfortable. The beauty is all things can be renewed. So let's move into the practical application. We want to start learning how to apply these things. We talked about what the problem was, we named it. Now we're going to frame the action and then begin to leap into applying that into our life. So this is the naming ritual. Okay, we're gonna name that shame. And if I had sound effects or whatever, it'd be like we're playing a game show. Name that shame. Come on down. Right, I'm gonna give you 2 reflection prompts here. Because remember, one of our greatest allies is that journal, that expression that we have begun to do more and more. Started out hard and like, how do I do this? And each day, each time we do it, it gets a little bit easier. No, it becomes a part of us. It becomes more probable. It's a thing that is not, we're making hard things look easy. That's all I'm going to say. The difficult thing started like that because we didn't do it. And now look at it. It's like, ooh, I love it. We see where the breadcrumbs lead. Okay. The first reflection prompt, is what pattern am I clinging to out of fear? This is the naming ritual. Okay. We are naming that shame. So we want to know, what pattern am I clinging to out of fear? Number 2, and we only have 2, is going to be, what would it feel like to release it with love? Not anger. Oh, no, to release it. Let it go. And you watch it. Say, thank you for everything you did for me, whatever you taught me. And I know that's hard, though. I know that's difficult because we haven't done that. Or we'll say, why I gotta, that was me. Listen, they'd be like, I was hearing things like, you gotta let it go. Whatever they did to you, let it go. Leave them alone. Give them grace. Send them love. And I'm like, what? Why I gotta give this person anything? All they did to me was da 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 da. And then I start seeing what I look like when I'm doing that, and how I feel when I'm doing that. If the thought of a person makes me go, then that person still got control over me, and I don't like that. I don't like nobody having control over me. I'm stubborn and hard headed. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want you controlling me. So then it was like, wait a minute. The power comes when you no longer have that effect over me. When you can say this person's name, and when you can see that person, and that's the real power. We think the power is in, I'm gonna be mad at you, and I'm gonna no. Especially you, black man. But you look like me, and we have this. They have this term called angry black man. You walk around like this, and everybody sees you, and they're like, "Yup." But guess what happens when that angry man turns into this smiling man? They're more afraid of that. Now they don't know what to do. Why is they smiling? What is going on? They're apprehensive, huh? But then a whole new world opens up. So it doesn't matter who you are. That anger, we don't need that. You don't need it. because the anger in your body is going to actually cause more harm than good. Look it up. Look what anger does to the body. Look what anger does to the mind. Have you ever seen an older person who's just angry? And oh, this grumpy old man, grumpy old. Nobody want to be around people like that. They never released it. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to be like your parents, your grandparents. You can be different because you are different. You're unique. So, what would it feel like to release it with love, not the anger? So, the exercise that you can do, these two questions, write them down, right? So that you have them. And the exercise that I want you to do is to write down uno, dos, tres, son, 1, 2, 3, three things, habits, or beliefs that no longer serve you. And you can choose, right? It could be one of each. It's up to you. This is your life, right? Write down three things, habits, or beliefs that no longer serve you. Anger, getting mad, being jealous, whatever it is. You're going to write that down. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear that shit up. Or you're going to burn it. Or you take some scissors to it. Or you can, if you like going to the range, put it on a board and shoot it. Whatever. All right. Tear it up, burn it. That is going to symbolize our act of release. We letting that go. Mm-mm. You had me. You had me. Aha. Not anymore. Okay. And so now we're going to move to the contrast and the challenge, right? We want to challenge ourselves by contrasting clinging on to something versus releasing, letting it go. Those two things actually, look, if you cling, right, look tight, forceful, let go, release, relax, peaceful. Good. Most of us have been like this for so long, clutching our pearls. Release it. Go. The pearls weren't yours anyway. No, let me stop. So clinging, right? Clinging, what we say earlier. Clinging feels secure. You're just holding on. Don't, please don't go. Don't go. Don't leave me. Leave me. Let go. So bye. Bye. Adios. Because what we clinging on, holding on to somebody for anyway. That desperate. Please don't go. That's when you know it's let them go. Huh? You what? Look at yourself. At one time, we thought we was that low that we got to cling to somebody or something. We asking God, please, God, keep this. God is like, so you want me to? Yeah, all right, all right. Soon as you said, please, can I keep? It was gone because God knows how you gonna grow. You're here to grow. You'll be all right. We just think it's so unfair. Why did that have to happen? And then all of a sudden, being a new opportunity comes, and now you back. Thank you, thank you. Oh, now you thinking, but you was clinging before because it felt secure. But in that security, in your clinginess, you created this heaviness in your life, in your body, in your shoulders. The world was just weighing on you. You distorted your reality, which caused stagnation. Remember, you're not growing, you're stagnant. You're just stuck. And when we feel stuck, that's when those questions come up. Like, what is life? What am I doing? What is my purpose? That's the light coming on. Answer those. Seek. Don't cling. Release. And so releasing, when we release, feels risky. Oh man. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, jump up. Oh, I made it. I made it. I made it. It feels risky, but that's what creates the freedom. Don't they say risk and reward? You risk, you receive a reward. That feeling of riskiness is what creates that freedom. If we never risk our lives, we ain't free. That goes for all of us. This country that I'm in the United States, it stands on that. Like that is what we preach, freedom, because we decided to risk our lives to fight for freedom. So if you think that was the only time it happened and now you just free and you ain't got no more risk, no, you're doing every single day. You should wake up and ask ourselves, what am I willing to risk today so that I can be free? What got its hold on me today? Because it's never just one thing. Our growth means that we continue to risk, we continue to grow, we continue to release. So freedom becomes the thing that we seek each moment of each day. All right, now I got to be free of social media because I was sitting on here for 8 hours. Nope, can't do that. Now I got to be free of this doubt. Can't. Now I got to risk myself. I have to put myself out there. I got to sit in front of this camera and talk to you about something that I know to be true, just so somebody out there can ridicule me and say, "Man, you lying." And then I got to release that need to want to go upside their head, because that is risky. But I release it, so I'm free from that. I'm not even worried about you. Like the naysayers, at one time I clung to that. I felt secure not putting myself out there. I felt secure not putting myself in front of this camera. Yet there was a heaviness on my life. It was like I knew I was supposed to be doing something. There was a distortion because everywhere I looked, it was like I wasn't seeing reality. I tried to make myself comfortable. I was complacent. And then the rug was snatched from under me. I became stagnant. That's what my children experienced. That's why I had to go, because I had to grow. And then I had to release. And that felt risky because it was like, you telling me I gotta get in front and expose myself and express to people who are just gonna have the potential to ridicule me and talk about me and laugh at me, and all those things took me back to childhood. And it was like, yes, because in that you will find freedom, you will have clarity, and you will have space to grow. Because what are they laughing at? They laughing at the fact that you are sovereign. They laughing at the fact that you found peace. They laughing at the fact that you can smile every day. They laughing at the fact that you found joy. That's sad. We ridicule people for not understanding their life. I don't know why they doing that. It's not for you to understand. I don't know why you doing what you doing. Why you looking at somebody else's life wanting to be like them? All on social. I wish that. Put that shit down. Release that. Step out on faith and risk being you. So what is costing you more, man? What is costing you more in your life? Does it cost more to cling to the weight, to cling to that false sense of security? Or does it cost more to step out into freedom? Martin Luther King has a quote that says something along the lines of stepping out on faith is like taking the first step, not knowing there's a stairwell there. And I look at that, I was like, being in the dark and you take that step and you don't even know what's there, but you're going to step out anyway. And then all of a sudden, boom, your feet land and you're like, okay. Then you take another step and you realize you're supported. And I paraphrase, probably got that quote wrong. Please forgive me. Somebody don't jump in the comments. I don't care. Tell me the right one. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? Help me out, right? But what is costing us more? The fear or the faith? Clinging or releasing? And now it's time to take the leap. This is my favorite part. Well, this whole thing is my favorite part. I realize that I live for these discussions every week. This is all I want to do. This is all I do. People are like, what do you do? I'm just going to say I do Wisdom Wednesday discussions. That's it. All the other things that I do, this is everything. It surrounds everything. So the LEAP protocol, right? Releasing through the sacred name. Okay? To leap means to locate, engage, anchor, and propel. And that allows us to integrate into living. We live. We leap to live. We locate, engage, anchor, and propel by listening, inviting, verifying, and expressing, which creates that new experience. So, a prompt for clarity. And then something new that I'm actually going to start doing, because I had a few people reach out and say, like, when we're doing the live integration and we're listening, inviting, verifying, expressing, like, to kind of show how that works or give the, how do I say it? It felt like they were missing something, like they didn't know how. So I'm going to start giving more examples on that. So to locate, okay, we are going, the prompt for clarity is, I feel weighed down by blank. And you fill in the blanks. So what do you feel weighed down by? And so you lead into the listening, right? So I feel weighed down by blank. Okay. So the practice is to pause and name it honestly. I feel weighed down by what? Stop for a second. And then be real. Name it honestly. Right? That's the listening to witness what no longer serves you. I feel weighed down with, and then you listen to that. Yeah, yep. And then we engage it. After we hear it, we engage it by this weight, what we just heard, whatever that thing is weighing us down, this weight is teaching me. This is the new. Because before it's like, oh, this stupid thing is, no. What is this teaching me right now? Identify the lesson the burden carried. Identify the lesson. Because we believe that loss is simply the lesson that we need to learn in order to get to the wins. You can't win without losing. And they be like, you can't win for losing. No, you can't. You better understand what that loss was. You better love outreaching, set expectations regarding self. And so the weight is teaching me blank, right? Identify the lesson the burden carried. And then invite that in, right? Welcome that message. Oh, I welcome that. It's teaching me this, then you let it go. That is going to allow you to anchor. This is how you let it go. You put that hand on your heart. and you say, I anchor in freedom. I release this with love. Let it go. Bye bye. Wave it off, right? Visualize this weight lifting from your body. If you struggle to visualize, imagine you actually have this ability. Stop telling yourself you can't. Just play around with yourself. Say, I can, I can, I can, I can, I can. Keep doing it till you believe it. I don't believe it. You can. Just keep doing it. Reverse the negatives at every chance you get. Anytime you hear can't, take the T off. It's an apostrophe T. Take it off. And it's can again. Oh. Right? So, hand on the heart. I anchor in freedom. I release this with love. You visualize the weight lifting from your body. And I'm telling you, maybe not the first time, but as you continue to do that, you will feel it. You will feel like, you ever felt that, like, oh, it felt like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders? You'll feel it. And that is verifying, right? Confirming the truth and releasing is strength. We're going to confirm that, like, hey, and I let that go. That's the strength, not holding on to it. Letting it go is the strength, and you know it because it's harder to let it go. Easier to just hold on to it. And then we propel, we go forward. We state, we proclaim, today I walk lighter by blank. What do you walk lighter by? Right? Committing to one daily action to embody release. What are you going to do today to embody that release? This is that propel. The propel is the action. Once you located it, you listened, you engaged, you invited it in, we anchored, now we verified, now we go forward and we proclaim, today I'm doing something different. So what am I going to commit to today? What is one thing? Not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just one thing. It's one day you can do one thing that you're going to commit to today, a daily action to embody this release, right? And then you express that by living aligned with new clarity. And that, watch the experience that that creates. So that action may be like, you know what, today, action I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go sit at the park. I don't do that a lot. I'm going to go for a run because I've been wanting to do that. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to write. I'm going to go take myself out to eat. Whatever it is, embody that action. Don't be complacent. Complacency kills. Now, as we move to close, this is where we do our Q&A and our challenge. So these questions, these 3 questions, are the questions that will be answered later. Because we got work to do, right? We've talked about what the issue was. We've identified it. Now we're like, okay, I'm journaling. I'm seeing what I got to do. Now these questions come later. This is when you are able to look back and smile and see what you have become. You thought you couldn't, and now you're good. You thought you can't, and you took the T off and realized, yeah, man, I can. So the reflective questions, number 1, uno, E. What weight are you finally ready to name and release? See, future. You may be there already. But once you went through this, now you go back in and says, all right, so what weight am I finally ready to name and release? Finally ready to name that I was overachieving, trying to be an overachiever, and I'm ready to release that. I'll try to do 10 things in one day. I'm just do one thing today. I was an overachiever. I'm not an underachiever. I am just an achiever. Why is that coming to my? I'm a survivor. That's exactly it. Uh, that's exactly it. All right. Number two. Uno, dos, y r. What lesson has that weight been teaching you? That's a hard one because, again, you have to look at it and be like, wait, I got to admit this was teaching me something. And a lot of times we be like, it wasn't teaching me nothing. I ain't learned. Keep going, young Padawan. It's teaching you something. What is it teaching you? What lesson has that weight been teaching? And then you move to number three. Uno, dos, tres, y son. How will you embody lightness this week? Lightness. You ain't being burdened. You ain't being held down. It's not on your shoulders. You ain't tight. You ain't clinging. You just light, man. You like, whew. I ain't even worried about that. I'm just gonna sit back and relax. Somebody will do it, but because it ain't me. How will you embody lightness this week? Okay. And now I encourage you to share your insights, right? Journal them quietly and share them. Share them with a loved one. Share them with a friend. You got nobody else? Share them with us. This community. We building together. Share with me, I'll share with you. That's what this is about. Sharing is caring. Not that you care about me, you care about you. It's not for ego and you want to say, hey, I want to do. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But you share because that is the release. Remember, these are the things we weren't doing before. We didn't want to share. We didn't want to care. We just wanted to be in that by ourselves. And we are not doing that anymore. We are compassed. We are surrounded. So let us share in this circle. And that's one thing that I will say before we do close it out. When I was in New York and I was part of this ritual circle, the sharing, I'm telling you, when one person begins to open up, then another person feels like, you know what, I'm going to share too. Then the next person, and the next person, and the next person, you feel lighter. You realize, damn, I was holding on to this thing out of fear of what somebody was going to say. Then I heard somebody else's story, and I realized that I'm tripping. What? Dang. Well, let me tell you about what I did, what I'm going through, and what I released. And now you're realizing, oh, the weight that I carried, I can also put that down. I can release that. You just have to be willing, able, and ready to go to war for life. War is being willing, able, and ready. If you didn't catch that, got an acronym for everything. I'm telling you. So, in closing, though, let's close out of here. Let's get up out of here, right? We want to charge into that lightness, charge into the light, our true self, our being, so that we can be in joy and in peace, forever inspired. So we want to reaffirm first and foremost. Let's reaffirm our information that my truth, your truth speaks through the weight I no longer carry. Taking that, you just got home from school, you took that backpack off. And them books ain't on you no more. All that weight ain't on you no more. No longer carry this. And our final wisdom anchors that are going to back all this up and wrap it up. One of my favorite, you already know this. And look, I just hope to put something out here in this ether that can match or even be close to somebody like Thich Nhat Hanh, somebody like Rumi. These are the two that we are going to quote to close this out. So Thich Nhat Hanh says, letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. Letting go gives us freedom, And freedom is the only condition for happiness. So if we're not happy, we're not free. And if we're not free, we didn't let go. So why are we not letting go? Letting go gives us freedom. Freedom is what we need for happiness. So if you ain't happy, you ain't free. And if you ain't free, you ain't let go. So what are you holding on to? Follow the breadcrumbs. From Rumi, who's a beautiful poet, Rumi says, growth lies just beyond the edge of fear. Just beyond the edge of fear. The moment you stop running, you'll discover what you're truly meant to be. I just want to pause for a second. I want to let that integrate. Let that land, because those two sayings, hearing, letting go gives us freedom. Freedom is the only condition for happiness. And that growth lies just beyond the edge of fear, meaning we got to the edge of fear and we turned around. We didn't go beyond it. And that we have to stop running. You stop running. And then you turn and you look at fear and realize it wasn't chasing you. You were running, so it was running behind you. Stop, turn towards fear, and guess what fear does? You ever seen, sometimes my dog does this. He gets like, huh? Like she get like the ears go behind her head. She started looking around like, huh? Fear does the same thing. You catch that anxiety, that fear starts turning away. It don't even want to look you in the face. It know it did something wrong. You're like, I ain't looking at you. Nope. And then fear tucks his tail and runs. That's who you're truly meant to be. Not the one who is fearful, but the one who fears less. Okay. So our life covenant as we close this out is, I will not carry what is not mine. You always talk about, I ain't doing that. That ain't me. That ain't. Well, stop carrying what is not yours. I will not carry what is not mine. I name my burdens and nullify their power. That ain't mine to carry. You gonna have that. Let them get mad. Stay booty and get glad. It don't matter. I ain't carrying. It ain't mine. So your ancestors want you to know. Do not let the story you never chose become the weight you forever carry. Do not let the story that you didn't choose define you. You didn't choose that, so why you adopting it? Why you embracing it? Why you put that mask on? Why you accept that? That wasn't yours. So do not let that story that you never chose become the weight you forever carry. Name it. Release it. Become it. No more. This week, choose to release over resistance. Choose to release over resistance. Shed what no longer serves you so that you can grow into what is waiting. You are on the other side, the real you. That life. Choose life. Every day,